Menace to sobriety. Just a menace, just a menace.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Menace to Sobriety with your host with the most, but I don't mean to boast. I'm a bit of a fridge freezer, lemon squeezer, Ebenezer, do as you please, a MasterCard Visa, Hachu sneezer, a bit of a leaning tower pizza, bit of a deep pan pizza, Julius Caesar, some people would say a little bit of a lady pleaser in a previous life. Enough about me. Let me introduce you to my co-host. Now, this guy is off his nut today. He's had two double espressos, and he's drinking a can of Red Bull. He is ADHD personified. You can pay online for pictures of his Corey. It is Kirk Norcross. Hello.
How you doing? We're gonna have to stop plugging my OnlyFans.
I know. Well, did you think? Oh, can we tighten this up a little bit? No,
it's just getting loose.
Have you had any more sort of subscribers since last week's episode?
Yes, I've had more females this time.
Oh, wow. Well, that would be my audience coming across to you.
Thank you very literally.
And we're off. We're off.
How many seconds?
Mate, I'll tell you what, sitting down here for 5 minutes before, it's more like 20 minutes while John got sorted out. Oh, by the way, welcome John. He's got a light on him. John,
hey.
There's John. How are you feeling, John? Tell us about your life.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, man. Had a nice week. Read a lot of you guys' comments. A lot of people are getting a lot of help from this show. Having good times working on projects. We got some good feedback on our film we're making.
Yeah, man, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
It's good. You're all in that inbox. Anything weird going on in that inbox?
Some dick pics from a guy called Kirk.
He's promoting them. Sorry, yeah.
John, move that lead near the camera. That's just blurring your sex.
Well, let's get it up. Let's have a look.
There we go. Oh, look, here he is.
Oh, look at that close up. For those of you that are listening, John looks like, how would you describe John? John's like a mixture between, he's just like Ben Affleck on crack.
Like a less successful Ed Miliband, I'd say.
John, to me, there's two kinds of a typical British looking man. You have the Ray Winston kind of London rugged.
Yeah.
That's me.
You have your Hugh Grant, not Hugh Edwards. He doesn't do that.
No.
Well,
Hugh Grant. He's spent less on nudes. All right. We had an interesting little chat before the podcast started. We covered a lot of subjects that we can't cover on the podcast, so we'll put them to bed. And let me find out about. Talking of bed, actually, me and you had a funny week this week. We both, because me and Kirk talk from every couple of days. We check in on each other, and I had one of these weeks where there was a couple of things that happened that I really overthought. I really suffer bad with overthinking. I know you do.
Yeah.
Suffer really bad with overthinking. It was someone I'd contacted didn't contact me back for a long time, and I thought oh, what have I done? And I really overthought it. I'm not going to lie to you. Interest rates are putting a bit of strain on the family in regard. I've got to make some decisions with my house and that. I stupidly bought the biggest house I fucking could, and the money now, and all these things are playing into it. A little bit of stress here, stress there. And working out every morning. And then Friday, I was speaking to you and I was like, I just fucking binged hard on went and bought loads of chocolates and sweets and then went and got back into bed.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to you and you'd done exactly the same thing.
I wasn't going to tell anyone because it sounds silly. I've been on a real strict diet at the moment.
Yeah.
I've lost just over a stone doing a keto diet. So no carbs, no sugar. And the craving went for ages. And there was not one thing that ticks it off. Just a lot of boredom, too much time on my own, getting inside my own head. And it was just like, so how I used to be with drugs, fuck it, I've got to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. I went downstairs. Obviously we've got kids, so we've always got some crisps, some chocolate, and I've just binged on everything. And my addiction is addiction like everything. So if I was going to get on Coke, I would do a lot of it. I'm like, right, I'm getting it. I'm doing loads of it. And then if I do one ticket of Coke, I'll be like, right, might as well. I've done it now. Might as well get loads. I'm in it for the long haul. So I think I picked up a crisp and chocolate bar. The minute I ate them, when I was on my diet and I knew I'd ruined my diet,
I thought, fuck it.
Fuck it, let's eat it. That's it. I was ordering McDonald's that night, Uber the lot.
Yeah, so it's a really weird thing. And I've got a feeling that it's ADHD as well, because people with ADHD are in a dopamine deficit, and I feel like I get hits from coffee now. I'm definitely addicted to Costa coffees, man. I'm on one a day, two a day every morning.
So Daniel, do you have ADHD or ADD?
I was diagnosed with ADHD.
Right, yeah. So a lot of people, me too. So I've had a load of people in my comments because I do a lot of things about ADHD. But if you watch my whole history, I've always spoke about ADHD. I got diagnosed when I was 10.
Yeah.
When I left primary school to go into secondary school, the teachers just said it was new then.
Yeah.
Half of people didn't believe in it, still sometimes now. And so ADD is attention deficit disorder.
Yeah.
So that's just harder to concentrate. But you're like me, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Yeah.
And obviously we show it, but I do get a bit of stick sometimes. Oh, jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I get that as well.
I didn't want.
Yeah.
My benefit from knowing something that I struggle to concentrate?
Yeah, and I funnily enough, I done a video. I put a video out yesterday where me doing stand up comedy, and I said, anyone on stage, anyone been diagnosed, anyone else get diagnosed on TikTok, because that's the thing now. People think that it's a trend and all that. But
that was a good bit. I watched that.
Did you see that? Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to come along to some of the gigs. Oh, you was at that gig actually, I think.
It was the one that heckled, remember? No, I was joking. It was me. No,
yeah, that was with your pal that done the shooting for me.
Was that Jake?
Yeah.
Thank you, boy.
But
yeah, I get in
got it.
stick.
Yeah.
Also, the comments from the last podcast, amazing. Like, I've had a few people jumping in my inbox. I try to reply to them all, but it is hard to reply to them all. So anyone that has dropped a message, like, to say how many days they're sober, or not even sober, people would just say, thank you very much, steps have helped. But I had one guy read a comment saying, every time I look at Kirk, I just think he's just done some coke. Like, I'm going to start, can we, honestly, I think we get them from Amazon, drug test me, so we're here.
You do look off your nut, I'm not going to lie. He looks off his nut every podcast, but I know that's just Kirk, mate.
The easiest way to know if I've done drugs or not is I won't be on social media.
Or you'd be wanking right now.
Yeah, because I could always get an erection on coke, which a lot of other fiends were jealous of.
Yeah, that's weird, because whoever invented coke really fucked that up, because
we're going to give you a drug that makes
you
want to
horny,
have sex,
but you can't get a boner.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like playing pool with a bit of rope, isn't
Yeah,
it?
mine was like a fucking bald man poking his head out of a bush. Honestly, mate. I used to stick a finger up my arse just to poke it out. Anyway, welcome.
All right, we start recording now, yeah?
This is just, someone's give this a bit of coke, because we started off.
Yeah, it's floppy, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's get crack-a-lacking. John, can you tell us what we're doing today, what we're talking about?
Absolutely. So today's sobriety topic is the role of mental health in addiction and sobriety. So we've already touched a little bit on that. You guys have talked about your ADD. But let's start with, can we try and define, is there some kind of connection between mental illness and addiction, and, the kind of personalities that have both?
Shall I kick us off? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that it's a weird one, because it's like a catch-22, because drinking alcohol 100% causes mental health problems, right? And taking drugs causes mental health problems. For years, I was under the impression that I was suffering with depression and anxiety, right? Because I got a good friend of mine, Michael Snook, and he used to always say it to me. Every fucking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I used to be doing fucking tweets and videos and stuff about, if you're depressed and da-da-da-da. And then by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was from top of the fucking world. And my mate, Snooker, used to be like, mate, you ain't got depression, mate. You want to come down, right? Yeah. But not just that. I learned as well through doing these podcasts and researching and everything like that, that ultimately what alcohol does on a smaller scale, and cocaine and other drugs do on a bigger scale, and what everything does, scrolling through your phone and eating chocolate and that, is releases dopamine, right? When you really pressure and squeeze the dopamine out of your receptors through drinking alcohol and taking drugs, you get your high. When you get your low, obviously you go into a deficit. It's like a pendulum swinging. I can remember someone telling us this analogy on the podcast before. It's like a pendulum swinging, right? For every drink you have, there is a slight bit of anxiety that you're going to get. For every line you sniff, there's a slight bit of anxiety. And the harder you push it one way, the further you push it back. But the truth of it is as well, it is harder. The more you drink for a longer amount of time, it is harder to find your base level. So your dopamine receptors can get saturated, get squeezed so much that even when you're not drinking and you're not on drugs, after a prolonged period of time, your base level is below where it's meant to be. That's your depression. That's your anxiety. So alcohol and drug abuse, or even just session at the weekends, is a massive contributor to anxiety and depression.
I think it can, exactly what you said is right. So drink and drugs, it can form a feeling of bad mental health. Of they come down
Yeah.
the anxiety, depression will start to come in because what you start doing to your body, you don't like it when you look in the mirror. Then that will start making you feel insecure, which will start making you depressed. But that doesn't mean that is you for all the time.
Yeah.
If that is what is causing you, because everyone has mental health at some point. Okay, I suffer with mental health, but not all the time. So if you are getting anxiety and depression, and you do the drugs and drink a lot, you don't suffer with mental health. It is the drugs and drink that are chemically imbalancing you.
Yeah.
Exactly what you explained. But so I think I was born in as an addict. I really think I am.
Yeah, you said that before.
I was born as an addict, and I guarantee there are some addicts out there that don't know they're addicts that haven't tried a drug. Okay? Because whenever I done drugs, I done it like an addict. I remember once when I was 19, and I was doing a night in my dad's nightclub. I wanted gear so much that I give a dealer, took the SIM card out of my phone and give him my phone for drugs. That's that bad. Like, you know, so I've always been like an addict but
Fucking
it wasn't.
hell.
Yeah,
Like,
that was bad. And that
like
was a friend of mine.
What was it, a gram?
Probably an 8 ball, probably an 8 for something. Yeah, like, and it was on me. Do you know what I mean? And I probably could have gone to the cash point outside, but it's like, no, now, just in case that guy ain't there when I come back, I need it now. What do you want? Just took the SIM card out of my phone. I can't even remember what it was. It was a flip phone. I was 19, whenever that was.
Yeah, fucking hell.
But so with depression and anxiety, I feel people get confused. John, I was talking about with you earlier. People get nerves and excitement confused with anxiety.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, having nerves and excitement, it feels like so I've had anxiety for years, man.
Yeah.
Like, before TV, stupid career choice to get into. You know, I've always had depression as a child. I mean, as a young age, if someone wouldn't answer, like a friend wouldn't invite me out, teenagers, or no one would knock on my door.
But you know, that's ADHD. That's traits of ADHD.
Yeah,
I've learned so much about the ADHD as well, and I've got a couple of comedian friends that make videos about people with ADHD really taking the piss out of them, and I watch it and I think, oh, the world doesn't really understand. You know, people don't understand. Like, if you have ADHD, this is why we're susceptible to addictions, is because a massive part of ADHD is having natural low dopamine levels.
Yes.
And releases of dopamine. So, for instance, the dopamine hits that we get from alcohol and drugs are more intense than they would be from everyday people. John, you don't have ADHD, do you?
You know what? The more I listen, the more I think I might. Like, I mean, I know everyone now thinks they might. I don't want to jump on that bandwagon, but like, I was a kid at school who just could not sit still, you know, always getting in trouble. I was just sort of very charming when I did it, so it never kind of backfired.
Don't jump on the bandwagon.
Do you find another key trait is, do you find yourself getting into real deep thought loops, overthinking?
Constant existential dread, like, you know, it ties in with like anxiety and OCD, constantly thinking, like catastrophizing, getting distracted. The only thing that really gets me out of it is either like things I shouldn't be doing, like you know, like drinking in or whatever, and then or if I'm focusing on a project and I'm really it takes me like an hour. You know, when we're writing this movie, it takes me like an hour just to get to my desk, sit down, actually start. And when I'm in, I'm in.
It sounds like he's got it.
Also,
do you have a big penis?
It changes depending on my mood.
I was going to say, because we both got small ones, so.
No, but also with the ADHD, and you have real lows, you have real highs, and I don't always think of the bad things. I always think of the good things as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I know a girl's coming around for sex, I've had sex with her about 3 times in my head before she comes around. And it's the same when you had an argument with someone with ADHD. I'm thinking of every bad scenario that can happen.
Yeah.
But what I think, if no one prior to having a drink or drug has not experienced depression, mental health, or some peaks or troughs, but then get it severely, even if they think I'm only drinking in the weekend. If you didn't have any sign of bad mental health prior to drink or drugs, and now you do, you don't have bad mental health. You're getting a chemical imbalance from the drink and drugs. Take that away.
It's like, look, listen, it's fact that alcohol is a depressant. It's a depressant, right? That's fact. It's gonna, and also like, it numbs you, right? So these are the things that the weird thing about addiction and alcohol and stuff like that is the stuff that I miss from drinking. I mean, I don't miss the cocaine at all. No, I don't miss it, right? The stuff that I miss from drinking is the very stuff that's damaging to you, you know, like the you know, when it numbs you, it makes you a bit wild and all of that stuff. But I think that if you're under the impression that alcohol helps you when things are tough, this is why it's such a bad. This is why it's so dangerous when things are going wrong in your life or stuff's difficult in your life, because it's like it is a vicious circle. You drink to make yourself feel better. The alcohol makes you feel worse. So you drink to make yourself feel better, and then the alcohol makes you feel worse, and then you drink to make yourself feel better. And then what you think is, if I drink more, it will outweigh the moments where I don't feel so good. And then what you do is you think, I drink to make myself feel better, and then the time when I don't feel good, I'll drink through that time.
Well, I didn't like.
You're trying to lap yourself in the circle.
and then you're drinking.
I didn't like come downs. But no one does. But I'd be on a 3-day binge. And I was like, cool, I'm going to crash hard.
So I might as well carry on.
So I'll just crack on until the point of like just falling asleep, like just doing lines, and like I'm on sleeping tablets, I'm drifting off in between, like bumping and stuff like that. And I would just try and think, but it's such a delusion in my head. This is how crazy this thing made me. So I didn't want to come down, so I wouldn't stop doing drugs. But any normal person would say, you will stop at one point.
Yeah.
So that come down is going to be ridiculous. But you know what? I just got this analogy. So with CA, Cocaine Anonymous, which saved my life, we read the books of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, because there's 12 proven steps, and this is meant to have worked with alcoholism.
Yeah.
So, and addiction's the same. It's a weird analogy, but when people, how can you go from being a heavy drug user to trying to stop doing it?
Yeah.
And it starts with you. So this analogy is, you know, if you're putting a table together, right, and you're putting one of the little wooden lugs in, and you're hitting it in, and you keep hitting it in, and it's not going on that hole, right? It's not going in because you're putting it in the wrong way, right? You're meant to turn it around and put it in the other way. You are going to continuously hit that and try and get it in the hole until you say to yourself out loud or in your head, oh, I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Not only until you say that, then you will pick it up, turn it around and do it right.
Yeah.
You have to admit, look at you, look at your flaws, look what you're doing, and say, I'm doing life wrong.
Yeah.
No one can change. We can't expect anyone to change until they see and say to themselves, I'm doing it wrong. So just take a little step back. Just try, imagine to be one of your friends or your family members looking at you. Just look how you carry yourself on a day-to-day life. If you think you're doing that wrong, tell yourself, because you will not start to do it right until you admit that you're doing it wrong.
Wow.
Sorry, I hope that helped.
Fucking hell, that's deep, man. Oh, it's a shame. It's such a shame, man. I look back and that makes me instantly feel like, you know, makes me look at all that time I fucking got it wrong. You know what I mean?
But you know, look, we're doing it right now, and look, I'm trying to help other people out. You know. It's a beautiful. You didn't know you were doing it wrong, man. You didn't.
Yeah, I think that there's so many factors that go into this, because 100% there'll be someone that's watching this now that's going, I don't know, I don't know if I've got a problem, or I don't know if it's bad. We'll put it this way: people that don't have a problem with drinking drugs don't wonder if they've got a problem with drinking drugs. Yeah. Right. So if you're watching this podcast and you're sort of sober curious, or things are going wrong and you're looking for answers, you've seen one of our videos and you're like, what's going on? Right. The best thing that I can say is, mate, first of all, if you can get to the point that Kirk was just describing, where he's like, look, you have to admit you're wrong. There's something that's just between that. There's just something that's just before that. For me, it was like, I kind of knew that the drink and the drugs weren't serving me anymore. Yes. I kind of knew that it was like, my fucking getting old, and everything negative that was happening in my life was as a result of drink and drugs. But I was like, what does that mean on the other side? What's on the other side? What does sobriety look like? And there's this fear that looms over you where you're like, so I'll never have fun again. That's the big one for me.
Fun start. Listen, you can go, like, look, people that are not addicts, you can go out and might have a beer or a bump. I don't condone it, but I'm not saying don't. If you can do that, that's you. That's your life. That's your journey. But trust me, I personally, as an addict, have had more fun going out on a night out without the drink or drug. Yeah. Because the anxiety, so I go mute when I've done drugs. I can't talk, right? And I sit there.
That's how we know that you ain't done any today, because you won't shut up.
I do not talk. I'm to the point of, like, first line, I might be a little bit ready to go. 2-3 lines in, Dan. Yeah. I'm just buckled up. But I tell you what, I just went for a toilet up there, right? And saying that it's in a bar, it's quite a clean toilet. But I'm like, oh, this is disgusting. I needed to wash my hands. I wouldn't even put my phone down on the side to wash my hands. I put my phone in my pocket. Right, I was like, oh, get me out of this toilet. See, if I was on the smash,
You'd be
I'd
sniffing
be sniffing
lines off
bugle
that.
off the fucking toilet seat while some geezer's having a pony on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Wouldn't care.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
One more thing, and then my notes are done.
Go on.
If you, every weekend, right, are on a bender and laying in bed at whatever time it is in the morning or whenever you, this is going to do it all the time.
Yeah.
If you're laying in bed thinking, oh my God, what have I done to myself? I'm not going to do this again. That's a great thought to have, because that's admitting you're doing it wrong. If you then go do it the next weekend, that's when you know you've got a drug problem. If you have listened to in bed, listening to the birds and say to yourself, what am I fucking doing? I ain't doing this no more. I don't like this feeling.
Yeah.
As I said, if you put your hand in an oven and burnt it,
Yeah.
you wouldn't do it again.
Yeah,
Why are we doing that?
Yeah, you're right. But fucking hell, mate, I was doing that for 10 fucking years, waking up off me nut, or fucking, do you know what I mean, not being able to sleep.
Yeah.
Spent all night ripping the end off it, the fucking amputee porn or something, and woke up. I thought, what have I done that for? And then a couple of days later, I'm like, fucking, let's go again.
And that's insanity, John.
That's addiction as well.
So
yeah.
insanity is doing the same thing over and over and not getting a different result, but trying to.
Yeah.
Who is that? It's the chaos theory, isn't it?
Who is that?
That's the producer. He ain't fucking Google. How does he
Yeah,
know?
Isn't he our Jamie from the Joe Rogan podcast?
Yeah. I'll look it up. No, I
think that's the
thought
chaos
like that was in a Joker comic as well.
Yeah.
That's the chaos
Yeah.
theory. So doing
Yeah.
the same thing over and over,
But
and
I'd say,
expecting a different result.
but I'd say, look, listen, this is how I've, and we'll move on to the next thing, John. You can take us on to the next thing in a sec. But this is the way that I look at it, and feel free to look at it how I look at it. Right? I'd thought to myself, well, when I go sober, do you know what? I'll still go out and I'll still see people and I'll still do. Fuck that, man. Like the way that I look at it now is I've got a brand new life.
Yeah.
And like, so the shit that makes me happy, I'll give you an idea of the stuff that makes me happy. And like, you know, when you go, oh, there's not going to be any more fun, the fun's all gone. I'll tell you what my fun is now, right? On Sunday, I had the maddest day Sunday. On Sunday, I was up. I ran 10K with my brother. And I come back to the house and my missus wasn't feeling too well. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, you lie on the couch. I'm going to play with the kids. And I play a game with the kids called Tiger, where I'm the tiger, right? And I chase them around the house and I grab them. And then while I'm eating one of them and like attacking one of them and tickling one of them, the other one's got to fight me to save her sister. And we take it in turns, right?
Image.
And I thought to myself, these kids, right, they do my nut because they go, right, can you do it for 10? I go, I'll do it for 10 minutes. And
How
they go,
knackered do you get?
Yeah, knackered. And because my head goes, and they're never happy. Like if I do it for 20 minutes, they're like, oh, afterwards. So I thought I'm going to go for as long as I can until they ask me to stop. And I got to about 45 minutes, and they weren't backing off.
Oh,
so
honestly, that's great image. That's life to me.
Yeah,
that
it was
is.
brilliant.
Imagine if you were still on the smash Sunday morning, your missus is up, you're on the couch, and she's playing Tiger with the kids. Fuck off!
Yeah,
get out, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But now it roles reverse. You know what I mean? You're looking after your missus. You're looking after. That's life to me. That's life. And again, if people do enjoy the club scene, good on them. But there is other fun out there, Dan, and you're a product of that.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I love that. I look at some of your stuff and think, I'm gonna do that. Like I watched you do the golf. You know, when you introduced me to your friends, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm watching this guy who I know his head is fucking crazy inside.
Yeah.
And I'm watching you like play golf when what's your golfing page, sorry?
Yeah, the golfing geezer.
The golfing geezer. And I was like, it looks so peaceful.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of etiquette about it, like banter as well. You can proper like, have it with the lads. And I've started it and it's great. There is fun in life.
Yeah,
there is.
I think, like, look, embrace creating a new you, man. Like, that's what I've done. Like, there's two me's, man, and the old me was great. I mean, the old me was great. I mean, he was a twat. He fucked a lot of stuff up, but he was great. He was great up until the age of
when it was fashionable.
Yeah, he was great. He was great up until the age of about 29, 30. Like, and but he fucking dragged it out. That guy dragged it out for another 9 years.
We've all got to grow up though, Dan,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that guy served me great. He was fucking session. He was drinking. He was the life and soul of the party. He even got a couple of shags in here and there before I met the missus. You know what I mean?
That was a good night we had.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, to anyone that's listening to this out there, don't be scared of reinventing yourself. In fact, embrace it.
Yeah.
Go and fucking try new things, become a new person. And I tell you what, when someone you know that loves you says, I'm proud of you, what's that worth, man?
Oh, man. That's it.
Look, don't cry. Don't cry. John, what's next?
All right, let's have a look. So, okay, the next topic in this area, so stigma. How does the stigma around mental health affect people with addiction? How can we work towards reducing the stigma? So let's discuss like stigma for people like actually saying that they've got a problem or an addiction, and also people who, especially guys, who may have anxiety or depression and feel like they can't talk about it.
Well, can I go on here?
Yeah,
So I used to be very open up until real recently about, look, keep bringing it up, but my TOWIE. I spoke about my anxiety. I even had my therapist on TOWIE, and I had some lessons, I had some, whatever they call it, whatever he was doing, counselling on there, you know. It's always been a part of my life. I never knew why I had anxiety. My dad had it severely, you know, from a young age. I don't know if it's hereditary or not, but I'd do it, you know. But I'm now going in my shell a little bit, and I'm a little bit scared to talk about the mental health because people are starting to dig me out thinking, not me personally, this whole new era, people saying, oh, you're just jumping on the fucking bandwagon. I'm now scared. Before, I was scared of being a man telling people that I'm upset. Now I'm scared of people saying, oh, you're just doing it for fucking likes.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing it because the more I talk about it, the more I learn about it. And there is getting a stigma about it more. And I'm
social media's done that to it, hasn't it? Yeah.
Listen, I know there are certain people that jump on the bandwagon and talk about depression. But even though if they're jumping on the bandwagon, they're still highlighting this thing. But people are quick to jump in the comments. It's getting me down. And having depression on depression is hard.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that it's like, and I know there's a couple of key people that have said that to us. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that said to both of us before.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
I've been advised
not to do podcasts, not to do this stuff.
So I got advised by someone who was a very good friend of mine, who said, "Oh, don't do the mental health podcast and don't keep talking about mental health because you're going to get tarnished with that brush." I was like, "This is my brush. This is my fucking life."
And the thing that kind of really got to me, you know, about Kirk getting any sort of stick around mental health is because, you know, Kirk, like, if you don't mind me saying, Kirk as a person is very damaged in that he doesn't even sometimes think that he belongs here to sit at this table. I mean, he said to me, he messaged me when I was getting this podcast back into the studio, and I said, look, would you be my co-host? He was like, thank you so much for the opportunity. And I'm like, mate, the fucking biggest episode we had on here was yours. You speak a lot of fucking sense. And the reason of that is because of what you've dealt with in your life, right? And also what you've overcome.
Yeah.
Like, and the truth, I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want to bring it down. But what you've overcome in your life and the mental health struggles, coupled with addiction, the only positive thing that we can take out of them things is to sit at a table like this and share it to someone else out there that looks at someone like you or someone like me and goes, fucking hell, well, if them lads are still sat there laughing and joking and being and trying to be successful and get on with life and being good dads after going through that, then I can do it too. And I think the stigma, the big thing about the stigma is because mental health is considered like something strange when, look, everybody is swinging from one way to the next. One day you're happy, one day you're sad. The only difference between the depression and bad mental health days and anxiety and that is how far you swing. And I believe that it's all about, a lot of it is about, one, the substances and things you're putting in your body, but two as well, managing your thoughts. When, like, the stuff that I've learned about managing my own thoughts, I think to myself, if I'd fucking known this stuff when I was going through school, if someone had said to me, by the way, you do have the ability to manage your trail of thought. You do have the ability to stop overthinking about things. You do have the ability to not react to what your mind's telling you. If someone had told me that when I was fucking 15, 16 years old, fuck me, mate.
Mate, I'd be a complete, but
you'd probably,
yeah, you know, I'd be very, very, I feel I'm successful in some sense, but
successful,
you know, I might be somewhere else in life, but yeah, you know, the reaction thing's key. So I'm a fucking reactor, and I really try and wind myself in sometimes because there's always something that's going to happen in life, good or bad. As a human with a conscience, the one thing that we are good at, if we learn it, is how to react. So if I tell you to fuck off, right, it hurts someone, you know. If I told you to fuck off in a different language, Dan, it's just a word. It won't get to you.
I'll be like, what's he saying?
Do you know what I mean? So it's just how we conceive something as a person because of our environment. But yeah, like I suffer. I don't know why I suffer. I go through spells of it. And again, I keep saying I've had it since I was a child, and I just, you know.
But I think the way to look at it is that's just the way we are.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
Like the truth of it is everyone out there has up days and bad days, and some of it affects some of us worse than others. So anyone that's suffering out there, you ain't no different to no one else.
That's it.
Like for instance, Kirk, I know for a fact that you're very similar to me in the way that, like, I mean, I done it this week. Someone didn't reply to me, and oh my God, the scenarios that I played out in my fucking mind.
I am the worst, right? And I've sort of fell out with a good friend of mine that I've been friends with since I was 10 years old, right? But I'm no one special. But if I choose, not choose someone to be my friend, it's not like I'm a fucking king. But I mean, if I let someone in to be my friend, that's a lot for me because I suffer with insecurity. So if I allow you into my life, into my house, to introduce you to my family a lot, I love you. You know what I mean? And I had a friend of mine that I grew up. Look, he's very successful, self-made. He had a normal life growing up, but not much money. And this is just my brain thinking, and I can't help it. The more money he was getting, I was going through a bit of bad shit and stuff.
The lower down the fucking...
He was getting longer to reply to me and stuff. And I understand people are busy. He has a very successful business. But you know what? After a while, man, like if I'm going to message you and you're going to take a week or two to reply to me because you're busy at work, that's fair. I understand that. But true mates ain't going to take a fortnight to reply.
It's bullshit.
But if I can see you at that same time on social media taking a picture of a fucking champagne in Harrods while you're shopping, but you're too busy to text your friend. So I can only deal with that so long. And this is where I need to sort of bite my tongue. And I say, you know what? Fuck you. I ain't happy. You're my friend. You're my brother. I'll tell you things that I wouldn't tell no one, not a family member. And for you to just blank me, and look, I've lost a few friends like that. That's a downfall with me. But me, I have to say things how it is and how I feel because they get caught up in here. What I need to start doing, Dan, though, is writing them down before I verbally come out.
I mean, look, it happened with me and you, didn't it? I mean, you stopped speaking to me completely.
And the scenarios in my head, I'm thinking, what have I done wrong? Like, and it's
and all it was I was getting on with my life and session. You was getting on. You know, we I think we went out to Fort Park, both our families together, and then maybe a couple of messages were missed, and and the next thing.
And that's it. I just, you know,
you just cut me off.
But that was when I was heavy in the bag. Do you know what I mean?
But listen, what the point of that is look, Kirk. So if you knew back in the day, or if you knew now, if you manage, so for instance, that absolutely nothing comes from us taking, say for instance, like the person isn't replying, right? Absolutely nothing comes from us going. I mean, I've got this with someone. I've had this with someone recently where I'm like, mate, come on, man, and I'm not getting back what I want. So then you get angry, and then you want to tell them. The truth of it is, if you can train yourself to not even need the closure, right, and to just be like, and do you know what that comes from? That comes from self-worth, your self-love
as well.
Accepting and just being like, do you know what? Everything calm down. Like anyone that is meant to be in my life will be there naturally. And you know, I'm going to stop trying to grab people and pull them back in. And if you can really train your mind, and this is what I'm talking about being able to master your thought process and try and think about your thoughts, like it. But you know, it's impossible to do that. But you can talk yourself out of wanting that closure.
Oh, definitely, and you're very right. And I don't do that all the time. Now I've had friends where they ain't replied, and now I just go, Kirk, that's their life, buddy. Let them know you. All right. You know my number. I love you, brother. But this one friend was the day one. I mean,
I think everyone's had it.
You know, but with the friend that told me not to do the mental health stuff, this is how it does get me. It was a bit two-sided. So, person's very busy. I do understand that. I was ringing him for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, no reply. That's fine. I understand. You've fucking got a very busy life. I've watched your life. It's very busy. So I just got 2 missed calls and thought, you know what? Let me do what they've done, you know? Just see my phone, thought I'll ring them tomorrow. After the 3rd time they rung, I got a text, we're going to fall out. Like, no, man, that's not fair. You can't then, just, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. But listen, a lot of it's my problem.
But listen, you've got to remember as well, for anyone else out there, like we're all ego-driven people, especially men, and also like it's impossible to not feel hurt and abandoned. It's impossible. But what you've got to do is when it's happening, try and talk yourself out of it. John, what's next, my brother? Because me and him are on one today. I mean,
I mean that's great stuff. Well, Dan, you actually mentioned a bunch of like techniques that you said have helped you kind of control your thoughts and that you wish you both could have known as a kid. What are some of them? Could you like, let's say someone now is real struggling with either anxiety or like catastrophizing. What kind of advice would you give for that?
I try and see my thoughts. I think this is single-handedly the most important thing that I've learned through my sobriety, and it goes back to as well saying that what's the fun going to be? Well, getting to know yourself is fun, right? And also you use words like clarity. You are left with your thoughts when you go sober. It's fucking intense. The noise comes into your mind so quickly because everything that you've managed to dampen each week comes back. And my biggest technique is looking at my thoughts as voices that aren't mine, right? So I believe that we're a consciousness, right? And the thoughts are around us that are being created, right? They're not us, right? The thoughts are being created, and your thoughts can run like as if they're fucking like snow or water down a fucking mountain, right? And if you keep letting them go down that same thing, they'll produce fucking, you know what I mean? Like
tracks in the snow,
tracks
worn
and
in.
paths, yeah. And then that's where your thoughts are going to always go. They're always going to go down into that negative route. So look at your thoughts and what's going on in your mind as stuff that's created. It's not you. It's not your voice.
Situations.
Yeah, they're situations. They're hypothetical situations. I mean, I've created complete hypothetical situations like the shitters that fucking happen. I've written whole fucking movies in my mind over just saying all right, and someone going, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm like, fucking hell, what? And then by the end of it, he shagged me missus or something. I'm like, fucking hell. And that is the creativity, the storytelling in your mind. You know, if you can stop and see what your mind's doing and go, whoa, 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 I call it a negative thought pattern. And if you can really hone in on that and start to fucking control it, you can control your life, because everything around us is everything. Our enemies, our friends, how well we're doing in life, how good we look, how fit we are, how sexy, how much money we've got, and everything. The perspective of it is all thoughts in your mind.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah. Yeah, mate, that is it.
Yeah.
You know what? It's summed it up fucking great now. Everything's going to happen, regardless or not. Good things and bad things are going to happen. And if you can learn what you said, I'm going to really take that on. Thank you.
Yeah.
But also what you guys are talking about, that is almost a foundation of so many like spiritual ideas.
Yeah.
You're not your thoughts. You're separate to that.
Yeah.
And when you start identifying with them, that's when the suffering comes in.
Yeah.
So it's having that equanimity and just being able to like allow your thoughts to pass.
And it doesn't mean that you're a weak person if you're having bad thoughts. You know what I mean?
I just
means you've got a powerful brain.
That's it, man. I
I
love that. No, well done. I
Thank
really
you.
like that.
Thank you, but I cringe at the fact that I'm becoming spiritual.
Gonna be wearing a robe next week.
Yeah, I'm turning into Russell Brand, but I do love Russell Brand. But what I mean is, it's weird that this midlife crisis has turned into like an awakening, that's turned into like finding myself, and all this shit. I used to listen to people saying that, and now I get it. It's like
a light's been switched on.
Yeah, it's like I'm like fucking discovering really how to manage my life for once instead of trying to hide from it.
How I feel with sobriety is if I look back at all my drug using days, and I've got to explain. So when I say used to be an addict, I'm always going to be an addict. So when I say used to be an addict, I mean when I was active addiction. So yeah, because I feel like I contradicted myself.
But no, I like it when you say when I used to be an addict. I actually like that.
I have to. I have some people that say you can't keep identifying as that. I have to identify as an addict. Yeah. Right. And it's because if I say I'm not, right,
then you can go and have a beer or a line.
Go back there. I'm not saying that the people are saying you don't.
It's such a hard conversation to have, because I don't want people out there that are going to give up to have to call themselves addicts for the rest of their lives.
My journey. But what if I look about my active using days? Right, it was very dull, dark.
Yeah.
And it's like as soon as I become sober, it was just like switching a light on. Yeah. Like if it sounds so weird, look, man, this is a cheesy analogy, but the film Limitlessness. You know the first couple of scenes, it's they've put a blue filter on it, and it's quite. When he takes that first the Limitless tablet,
and the saturation comes in,
and all the brightness. That's how I felt with sobriety, man. And listen. The journey that I've done isn't for everyone. People can do different things. But I think you said it last week. I really advise for someone, if you're going to give up drink or drugs, please take something else up. Yeah. I was feeling a little bit worthless at the moment, so I've just taken up golf. And it's really given me that sense of learning and earning at the same time, you know. So
well, you need something to go to, especially when because that void fucking screams at you.
Yeah, man. But look, I'm sort of lucky and unlucky at the same time. So I'm lucky enough, I'm quite comfortable in life where I've got myself now. I've got a house, you know, all paid for. I've got a car, no finance, and this is not me blowing my own trumpet. That sounds great, but I really don't have to go to work that much at the moment.
So you're lacking meaning.
I feel worthless, man. I really do. So that's why I have to keep telling myself them quotes that I said last week. I am where I'm meant to be in life at the moment, you know. But so even.
Well, I think just to focus on that, I think that's a common fucking feeling, man. I think like that.
I think lockdown exacerbated that massively as well, and people just couldn't go. To work for a lot of them.
Fucking right. Yeah.
But look, I know what my flaws are. I love life, man, and I think you opened up life to a new chapter for me as well, Dan. So I do owe you a big thank you.
All right. Okay. So over to you, John.
Okay, so we've got a couple of listeners who've sent in some voice notes. I'll play them down the mic to you and give me your thoughts on them. This guy's asked to remain anonymous, so let's call him
John Doe.
Hugh. Yeah.
Hugh? Oh, no. He's not off the BBC, is he?
Could be.
Sorry, Hugh.
Right, here we go.
I don't really know how this podcast is going to work, but if you could potentially cover something on what you do when you're feeling the urge on a weekend, what you would change to, how your mindset would be, kind of thing around that. Just sort of like ways and things to do with your weekends other than getting on the sesh, or good substitutes that you've managed to find. Obviously, exercise is a great one, but I mean, so you feel like you're still not missing out kind of thing? Cheers.
I'll do a quick one, just a quick one.
Thank you for the message, by the way.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. Quick one. Find projects to keep you busy during the weekend. Manage your thoughts. If you're thinking it, start thinking that it's a thought you're thinking, that it's not you thinking it and saying it. And that's just work. You put that work in, it gets a little bit easier. When it pops into my mind, have a drink, or do you want to drink, or do you want to have a little sesh? I'm like, ha 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 ha. I know who you are. And that's not me. That's the little sesh gremlin. Fuck off. Fitness is a fucking belter. We've said that before. Yeah. And just fucking find projects to keep yourself busy. Kirk?
Also, if you want to sort of go out in a good environment and still enjoy some kind of lads thing, go like Top Golf or places like that, because your friends might be able to have a pint or they might not, you know, but you can
try and do something while they're drinking.
Doing something with the lads. Like we went out to the casino, not condoning it for everyone because some people can't do that. They was having a little drink. I didn't even look at them as, that's exciting, because we were doing our thing. So there are a load of things, you know. You can go go-karting with the lads, you know, you can go Top Golf. I know some people can't afford it, you know. Go out with the lads, do a fucking Saturday morning 5K or something like that. Do you know
but I think if you're on your own, just try and find projects, man. Try and find projects.
If you've got a trade, create a business idea. Sit down and fucking research everything. I used to do jet washing for 5 years. I just sat there and watched every kind of video about setting up businesses.
Yeah, start a fucking business, man.
Start a business. We'll invest in it if it's good.
I've got enough businesses. I can't no more.
But no, thank you very much for the message. And there are so many things you can do. And it's we can't just name them all on the podcast but trust me, just do the start. Go ease yourself out rather than distance yourself from the lads. Just say, lads, you want to go? Yeah. If they're going to go out on a Friday night, say, if you're going out at 9, do you want to go Top Golf at 7 first? You're still going out with him, and then you can go home after with a family, have some food.
Like that. Jonathan, what's next?
Yeah,
please?
Okay, so we've got Nina, who has a question for you guys.
Oh, Jonathan, and if you wanna add anything to these, feel free, my friend.
Nice. I didn't do anything on the weekend. I just stay in and look at the wall, waiting for.
All right, maybe don't add stuff then. Fucking
No, what do I think? Go to yoga, and then also.
I want to start that.
Yeah. All right. Let's start yoga.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
What's not Nina?
Okay, Nina. Oh no, I liked it.
Oh
no. Okay, here we go.
Bear with us, Nina.
Hi Dan and Kurt. My name's Nina. I'm at work right now, so you might hear a few weird noises, but I just wanted to ask if you have any tips about how to support a friend who has told you that they have a problem with drinking drugs. I feel like sometimes it can create a bit of tension. I mean, in the past, she's asked me to like not let her drink or not let her use, and it's caused a few arguments. Now our relationship is a bit better and we speak quite openly about it, but do you have any tips or any like insight you could give to people that have a friend that or a family member that they're supporting? Thank you so much for all your help. You're doing like some beautiful work.
Oh, thank you, Nina.
Nina, first of all, sorry for laughing, but Nina, she had a very attractive voice. I'm very sorry.
She got a sexy voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you turn off the aircon up there as well?
cool.
Because I can hear that through the thing.
So, Nina, what I would say, first of all, well done for you for reaching out to a friend. Second of all, well done to your friend to reaching out to you and saying, can you help me stop doing, was it drink and drugs? Let's just say both for now.
Yeah.
When I went to CA, Cocaine Anonymous, which you can find anywhere, I'll always repeat it. Please Google CA, the letter C, the letter A, where to find it. Will tell you where they are. If your friend has reached out to you, they're probably at the point now that they've had enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can chaperone a friend to CA, and you do not have to talk. You can just listen.
Yeah, yeah.
So, sorry.
Go on, mate. Keep going.
Sorting out some aircon issues in the
Yeah,
studio.
go on.
So, I just would say if they have asked you to help them stop doing drink and drugs, the person who's suffering at the moment, well done, because that's them. That's them admitting what I said earlier, that they're doing it wrong. So Nina, just ask her if she would like to go to CA, Cocaine Anonymous. Find out your nearest one in your area. They have them Saturday mornings, every evening, sometimes in the day. And the reason I say to go is because you don't have to talk, you don't have to say your name or anything, but you can just listen to other similarities there. And the key is listening to other similarities.
Yeah.
And then you start to find help. Once you know what your problem is or your friend's problem is when you can learn how to stop it. At the moment, all you know is that you have a drink or drug problem. Your friend doesn't know why. So hopefully if you take them to CA, they will find out, open up and find out what their problem is.
Wow, that's really good advice. Yeah, I think, I mean, Nina, it sounds like you're finding it quite awkward and quite hard. And it's causing a little bit of friction because maybe you guys are still doing stuff you used to do that she doesn't really want to do, or she's putting the pressure on you to not let her do things in certain environments. So my advice would be to you, something that I really appreciate when my friends do it to me, and that is invite me to go and do things that don't involve alcohol or drugs at all. Which is weird saying it because, you know, everything shouldn't really involve drugs. But with some of my friends, the only thing they do is drugs. But some of them say to me, oh, you know, would you like to go for a walk? Would you like, you know, we went hiking once and da-da-da. If you could find something, Nina, that you and her do together once a week that doesn't involve being in a bar, club or anything like that, she'd really appreciate it. And then talk, man. So like a nice walk, man. I love going on a walk. And then introduce her to the podcast as well. Thanks, John. Any advice, mate? Or
I was just laughing that you guys were laughing because the voice was sexy.
Man, that was hard. That was hard.
Sexy.
Look, I'm
gonna
be honest because it's such a tricky like environment, you know, because it's mental health, it's addiction and stuff like that. But I'm a comedian, man, and like it sounded like something was it sounded like something was vibrating on her end of the phone as well. Which
she had a very nice voice.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Nina.
Sorry. Oh, mate. No, I'm sorry if
we're
that
schoolboys, aren't we?
Yeah, sorry if that was rude, Nina, but you should try the sex lines. Okay, go on.
All right, so we've got a message here from LJB who wants to share some of their advice from rehab.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's go.
Hi, Dan. Not really a question or anything for your podcast, but there's a few things I thought might be worthwhile sharing that I learnt in rehab at the start of the year. So the first thing is called dysphoric recall. So we quite easily obviously have euphoric recall where we psych each other up, you know, when we see our mates to end up, you know, getting loose, you know, remind ourselves of the good times using. We don't often use dysphoric recall. So whenever you get craving, if you use dysphoric recall, you remind yourself of those awful times, the worst. And then it prevents you from having those cravings because you know you're going to go back to that. Mm-hmm. That was the first thing. The second thing I learned is intimacy over intensity. So By using, obviously, we search for that intensity, something to fulfill the void we're missing. Whereas you need to be looking for intensity in life, intimacy in life.
Wow.
So you've got a bit more?
And by intimacy, I mean finding wholesome connections with people rather than the connections we create by using.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And finally, I think this is a really good one, is to turn that particular drug into a person in your life. So for me, I was addicted to cocaine. So my therapist said to imagine that was a person in your life. So that particular person, so they're destroying my life. They're taking money away from me. They're making me become a slave. They're making me destroy my family and friendships. If that was a real person in your life, you'd cut them out if they're a friend.
Wow.
So why didn't you cut that particular drug out of your life?
Fucking brilliant.
And when you put it like that, it makes you realise that you need to get rid of it out of your life.
Oh, man.
LJB,
Thank
that's
you.
great. Listen, I've been in recovery for a long time and I've done Cocaine Anonymous. I felt that I've learnt a lot. Thank you very much. That's great. And he actually brought something up that I wasn't really aware of. So when I went sober for the first time, and my using the year prior to that was just extreme and disgusting and horrible and dark. When I had the urge to do drugs, I was thinking of a good time from when I first ever started. And it was in my head. I was at my mate's kitchen and I was like, fuck me, that's my addiction. Reminded me of a time, not that was a few months ago, that the horrible times was about.
Yeah.
The
And that's what he's
horrible
talking
time.
about, the
Yeah.
dysphoria.
That was great. And yeah, that's great. And the thing, what he said about turning coke into a person. Yeah, I've had many people in my life that are toxic, that are bad, that are bringing me down, bringing me negativity, making me feel shit about myself. So I've cut them off. So using cocaine as a person, that's a great way of thinking.
That's a brilliant analogy. I done a video. Yeah, I mean, yeah, wow. Well, great stuff. I mean, I personally already use the method of thinking about sad times. I've got a vision in my head of my grandma and granddad died, unfortunately, and their house was empty because my family was selling it. And when I hit my rock bottom 9-10 months ago, I wasn't at my house. I had to stay somewhere else, and I ended up sleeping in my fucking grandma's house, weirdly, on the floor underneath. The only thing that was left in the house was a cross with Jesus on it. And I'm not very religious, and it was fucking horrible.
I can imagine, man.
And
Yeah, so you got to take yourself back to them.
Man, I
LJB,
do.
that was really good. Quick one, what I just need to say about addiction. So there's two forms of addiction. I'm not sure as if every addict has it, but there is allergy of the mind, then allergy of the body. So the allergy of the mind with drug taking is that you think that you have to take a substance to sort this mind out, which a lot of users use. But then I had, and I know a lot of people in my sobriety journey had a allergy of the body. So all I want is just one line, first of all. That's all I need. I just need one line just to calm down my fucking head. I've had a real bad week, but then the minute I have that one line, one drug or one substance, I have a fucking allergy to it that I have to consume as much. I can't stop it. No police car following me, no fucking family member being ill.
Oh yeah,
no
you
money
said
problems.
you once had a police car. Go on, tell us that story.
I had a police car behind me, not following me, right, but just in traffic, and I thought that they're gonna pull me. So I done a bump quickly because I thought if they pulled, they'll take my drugs off me. I won't be able to do them. And that
at least I'll be high in the fucking.
That's just insanity. But that's not really happened. If there's any police watching, never really happened.
Yeah. You can't prove anything.
You can't prove anything. I actually read ones.
Kirk's just an actor. He's never actually drank or done drugs before.
Never. I actually read a book before, one of the sort of ex-gangster books, and the police. He had a load of drugs on a A to Z book, and the police had knocked on the door. They knew him by name because he was a proper face. And they've said, "Oh, so and so," and he's literally gone, "You got no evidence now."
Yeah.
You know what? Sorry to laugh about drugs, but you know,
yeah, it's funny. Okay, cool. Really
LJB, that was really good.
Yeah,
by
really
the way.
like that one, and that is a great analogy. And I picture. It's sad, really, that my nan's house has turned to that. But I picture my nan's house when I romanticize on the drugs. So that's a great one. Come on, let's do so. How long are we doing for time, John?
I'd say we got about 6 minutes before an hour. Should do one or two more?
Yeah, yes, please,
Do
mate.
one more than
please.
the other things he's got.
No, I think we're 6 minutes. We're out, mate. We'll have to do the rest of these next week. I mean,
Perfect.
do you know what? It's like it's an emotional roller coaster.
It is. There's a lot of ups and downs. I'm crashing.
All right, this is a message from Miles. Here we go.
Hello, mate. Just wanted you to answer the question of when you have a relapse after a fairly long period of being sober, how do you deal with it the second time round, getting that motivation going again?
Miles, thank you very much. Listen, when you relapse, it's a journey for some, not for all. I'm not condoning anyone that's in recovery to have a relapse, but just remember why you went there the first time, why you chose recovery the first time, you know, and that hopefully that is enough. And remember how good life was when you went sober. I don't even know the person, but I know if someone's gone from addiction to sobriety, your life was so much better. But always remember that reason you chose sobriety for the first time. That should be enough that was enough to send you the first time. Don't kick yourself and don't beat yourself up though, Miles. It's happened, man. You know, you're going to beat yourself up and jump into a packet, which is very easy for someone with a craving or an addiction to do. So, you know, be proud that you've just reached out to us. You know, thank you very much, Miles. And you were strong enough to do it before. I think you're going to be even stronger to do it this time.
Wow. Love that, Kirk. I think use it, man. Use it. Make it your nan's house. Make the feelings you're feeling when you relapse. Take something positive out of it, and collect all them feelings and put them inside you, so you can recall them every time that you want to fucking sesh. I don't really know if I relapsed because, you know, I wasn't heavily addicted to drugs. For me, it was the alcohol really, and I went sober for a long period of time and thought I'll be all right coming back. And the speed and the escalation of my drinking and drug use during that time served me to fucking go sober properly. It made me realise I've got a problem. So it's part of your journey. Again, you know, this ain't an excuse to go and relapse, but if you're in that thing, it's part of your journey. Use it for a benefit.
Yeah, and listen,
John.
you're always going to have you're always going to have another relapse in you, but there's a chance that you might not have another recovery. You know, you've got to say it how it is. It can lead in death. That's, you know what? Like, listen, anything can, but you know,
it can kill you.
It can kill you like that. As simple as, you know, and. You know, some people won't get on a motorbike because, I'm scared of like dying because there's so many motorbikes. But you're going to do some gear. And you know how many people die of that. You know, just think and
All right, fair enough. Let's do one more quick one, and then we'll say goodbye for the week.
Thanks, John.
Guys, I've just listened to your joint podcast, you and Kirk. John, what a podcast! Absolutely brilliant. Thank you. That was brilliant. Format, just content. I wasn't really a Kirk fan. I just thought it was just too much previously, but this was really good. Thank you, Kirk. Thank you, Dapper. Both just brilliant. So awesome stuff.
John, thanks for playing that for us, mate.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. I thought the sound was better in my mind, but thank you to David for
Wow,
thank
man.
you, David.
See, you needed to hear that. I hear that shit all the time, man. I hear that all the time. I don't take it for granted, but I hear all the time in my inbox. Thank you. This video. You needed to hear that.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm glad. Listen, since I lost my dad, if I could make one person smile a day and one person not kill themselves a day, that's it. You know what I mean? But I'm not sure why I wasn't a Kirk fan before.
you have to take something negative out of fucking it. No. See what I mean? This is classic Kirk. ADHD, bro. I mean, I'll do the same. He's like, hold on a second. Did he say he wasn't a fan? No,
I know.
Maybe he just didn't know you.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
No, listen, I needed to hear that as well.
I did,
you know, because
it's why we do it.
Yeah, and we had a couple of negative comments. We always get a couple of negative comments. We had someone say, what was it? Someone commented on the podcast on one of the clips and said, "Oh, fucking weak men."
Yeah, weak men.
Because what were we talking about in the clip? I can't remember now. It was one of the clips that went out. We were talking about saying, can
just
someone
mental health and
someone said, "Oh, fucking weak men." You know what? Fucking Andrew Tate wouldn't have this, and and said something like, "Oh, you wouldn't last long in a war." And I thought to myself, do you know what? If you speak to any like real, any of our servicemen and stuff like that come out,
The suffering,
the suffering that they go through their mental health and stuff like that. I mean, talking about it, I know that a lot of people would approve of it, but also like, come down. I said, what did I reply to him? I said, come down.
I'll do a little spar with you.
Yeah, come down the boxing gym.
So apparently, I hate women. Do I?
Oh yeah, we had. Yeah, but yeah, Kirk had one.
I messaged Dan. I screenshotted it.
Yeah,
I'm not reading the comments no more, Dan.
Yeah, I'm not reading the comment. He's very sensitive, our Kirk.
I am. No, but listen, like,
but a lady had said that
I'm horrible.
You're coming across like you hate women and because you were talking about your ex and what had happened, and I just had to reply, look, if he comes across that he's angry, it's probably because he is, and this is a problem.
Not to women.
No,
to a woman that fucking destroyed
and
me.
this is the problem that we have. And by the way, the lady that mentioned that, if you're watching, like, it's fine, man. Everyone's welcome to comment and have opinions. And we had a little discussion on there, but I removed the comment just because I didn't want it to rail up any more negativity because it's not productive. But Kirk's a lovely guy. There's no hatred in his heart, and any hatred that is in his heart for anything is because he's been burnt, like many of us are.
And also, this is something I've learned, is that it's okay to be angry. Like, I think from a young age, a lot of us, like, we're told we're not actually allowed to be. But but you're allowed to feel. Obviously, you don't want to go out and like smash it up because of it, but you can feel it. You are allowed to feel your feelings, which is so much. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, and it's very difficult to express an opinion as a man these days. I've got to be honest with you. Just because Kirk said, do you know what, I didn't like what that person does not mean that he doesn't like the gender.
How am I allowed to be judged? So now this woman thinks she has every right to judge me on just by watching a 30-second clip of me talking about a woman that hurt me.
Yeah.
I know Kirk, he hates women. Fucking love women. I was raised by a single mum that I watched cry, laugh, smile, cuddle us, beat herself up daily to raise us the best she could. I have nothing but admiration to women, and women, ladies born with vaginas.
Yeah.
I've got nothing.
Whoa, but not the ones with dicks. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. No, listen, women go through a lot. Trust me. And I don't like that people saying I don't like women because I have a daughter. You have daughters. I don't like people thinking that. I respect women.
Yeah.
I would put myself in, I'm not even saying this to be a big man, I'd put myself in harm to protect a woman. I learned it from my dad. I watched my dad, get involved in some stuff if he thought some punters at the club were talking to women or doing things to women they shouldn't have. Do you know what I mean? So I don't like that. It was just that a particular woman really hurt me.
Yeah.
And and I just had to.
Yeah, I had to say to Kirk as well. Don't never be. I mean, I've had it before. I've said some stupid stuff in the past and and maybe I was a little bit like, do you know what I mean? Too much of a lad back in the day, and I learned through having daughters, But us men, you got to remember, us men are very immature. It takes us a long time to grow up. And also, we don't always, and this is a problem that we have, especially when we're arguing with our wives or we're arguing with women in general, is that we are not intellectually or vocabulary wise. I constantly come a cropper with Shelley. I'll be wanting to say something, and
you'll just go,
fuck off. And there's not like she can just, we never win arguments, basically what I'm saying. So take everything we say with a pinch of salt. It doesn't necessarily mean bad things. But anyway, listen, John, thank you very much for navigating us through that episode.
Pleasure.
Thank you, John.
And
an absolute pleasure.
Picking them. And John, man, I just want to say, you are an integral part of this. Where can people find you, John, if they want to reach out to you as well?
Yeah, if you want to say hello or jump on social media. So my name's John Cogan. So my social media is Kogie11, KOGIE11. Come say hi. Do like sketches and stand up and stuff. And me and Dan.
And he's in a band.
And I'm in a band. Yeah, if you like electronic rock music for nerds, that's us. I'm a deep diehard nerd. So come say hi.
Love you, John. Thank you very much.
You.
Kirk, anything you want to finish on?
I just thank you very much. Honestly, thank you to everyone, sobriety in my life, my children, my father, my mother. Yeah, I feel like I'm receiving an Oscar. No, honestly, I'm I'm really enjoying life at the moment. I love this. It's given me a little bit of worth,
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good. Are we all right with the cameras?
I think, so...
There we are.
Yeah, it got stuck on my terrible face. Right. Hey, Coach, do you want to say that again? Then we'll cut it.
Yeah, go on.
No, I just thank you to everyone, all the comments that I get, to be honest, even some of the negative comments, because they do make me check myself, which I need now and then. I'm human. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't leave the house in a nice shirt and then I get home, it's going to get creases in it.
Yeah.
So you iron them creases out. So you know, anything I've received, love, hate, it helps me. Daniel, John, my parents, everyone. I'm just in love with life right now.
I like that. It might be the 2 Red Bulls and fucking 2 double espressos you've had as well, mate. All right, I'm going to finish up by saying this. Ladies and gentlemen, you can come and see Menace to Sobriety live. We are doing Menace to Sobriety live in Vauxhall, right here where we shoot it. It's going to be me and a special guest, hopefully Kirk, if I can get him to come along as well. Yes. He's going to co-host it with me. That's Menace to Sobriety live. We're going to have interaction, live interaction. We're going to pick a topic. We're going to have a chat and we're going to interact with the audience. So if you're passionate about this podcast and you want to come along and get involved, we're going to film it and we're going to publish it too. A ticket link is now, for the first time ever, in the description. You can come along and see us or swipe up on the Instagram or DM us for the ticket link or whatever. But yeah, Menace to Sobriety live. We're going to do one a month. Touch me, baby. Touch me. Thank you very much for tuning in. Sharing's caring. Kirk, I love you.
Thank you.
I love you. Share this and tag someone in the comments. Leave us a comment. Feedback is always warranted unless you're having a go at us. See you later. Bye.
Hey!
Hello, we are going to take the Menace to Sobriety to the live stage and we need a live studio audience to interact with us, to come along, listen, laugh and learn everything about sobriety, mental health, well-being and just come along for a night out with like-minded people. We are going to be going live on the 30th of August, 27th of September, 25th of October and the 29th of November. That's one a month. Get your tickets now. Come down, meet the team and have some fun. Menace to Sobriety live, coming soon. Oh, yes. And don't forget, if you want to come and see me live and meet me, I'm going on tour. The Daniel O'Reilly Out of Character full UK tour kicks off in January 2024 and tickets are on sale right now. I'm going to try and get out and meet as many of you as possible. And of course, I'm going to be bringing the laughs all over the UK. There's 23 dates right now and I'm adding more all the time. Hit the link in the bio and get your tickets now and come have some fun. If you're going through a tough time at the moment, please don't suffer in silence. Feel free to pick up the phone and contact any of these helplines. I personally, myself, at one of my darkest points, contacted the Samaritans and it completely changed my outlook and got me out of a really deep, dark place. A problem shared really is a problem halved. So if you don't feel confident talking to those around you, check out any of these organisations and give them a call. This is my Facebook group. Just simply search on Facebook, Men and Their Emotions. It's for men only, but once you're in there, you can talk anonymously about your problems and help others and just feel a little bit of community. So come join the conversation, Men and Their Emotions, on Facebook. Thanks for watching.
Menace to Sobriety. Just a menace, just a menace.